Hi all, my name is Maju Ansari. I am working here in Mindfire Bangalore Center for past 9 months as a PHP developer. Let me start. Okay. So I'll start with web states. An application can be of two types, stateful or stateless. A stateful application means it keeps track of the history that happened. And stateless is just opposite. Like it won't keep track or like it won't keep in mind like these things happen. It's coming from this page. Those things won't be there for stateless applications. So in our case, for web applications, we need to check. We need to see whether it's stateful or stateless. It depends on the actions we are performing on the page. So basically, if you are just looking at a basic web page with not much jacks, jQuery actions, we consider that part first. So is that stateful or stateless? That's not what we discussed. The one with no simple web page with less jQuery or Ajax actions. So it depends. Like say, like each URL of a web page going to a certain state, a particular state. So in case of a simple web page application, we keep track like just like said about stateful applications. We keep track of the things, the pages we are coming from, the links we navigate in the past, and all those things are kept trapped in the memory. So, so in that case, a simple web page application should be a stateful application. Similarly, like each URL, like what defines a state is like each URL. Each URL defines a particular state of that application, or it links to a certain state of an application. So that's why the states are important, because even the search engine, when search engines are like crawling through the site, like say like Google search engine crawler, what they are doing is taking the snapshot of like a particular say state is there, say URL is there, proper URL is there. Take snapshot of that particular page or URL. So state is important even for the search engine, like for the search engine crawlers and all. Like for simple web page, these things are fine. So what about when we use Ajax or more formless jQuery actions? It's stateless. So there are like lots of problems associated with Ajax. When Ajax came into being initially, like this was main concern, like what to do with stateless applications, how to handle stateful applications. So these are the problems mainly Ajax creates. Like when you cannot just go back and forward, just like say an Ajax pop-up or like some Ajax function you have initiated. You cannot get the copy paste the URL from the browser and put it some other page and just get back that particular state. So since that is not possible, even search engines cannot scroll the site properly. So even the links like say if you opened a pop-up or something or some Ajax function be executed, you cannot just go back and forward. So there are some problems related to this. So like for making it properly stateful, we used to do some for some time like early before all the HTML5 and before that stage, there were certain solutions, there are certain things people are using. One thing is using the hash. There is this make use of there are some JavaScript variables are there, window.location.hash, and along with that there is one more event is there on hash change. So this hash anchoring thing is doing when we are doing that we are using these two things, this window.location.hash and on hash change. So this then later Google introduced thing called hashbang. You might have noticed URL like this. This is hash. You hear this hash then exclamation mark. Earlier Facebook, Twitter, and all used these mechanisms. So I'm not going deep into this hashbang stuff because it's not the topic we are covering. So I just mentioned what are the problems, like what are things issues we faced with this hashbang or hashing mechanisms. One of the things is like so for the same page we have two URLs. Say like example for this page 1. Actually this is the actual URL, but for hashing mechanism for implementing hashbang we have two URL. But if you enter page my website.com/page1 or this URL, we will redirect to the page. But why we need two URL for same content? That is not necessary. Then similarly, Here, the second point. Say if I'm on a page 1 and I click on a link for page 2, that page 2 link will be appended to the page 1 link. So in that case, there will be if I access a URL like my website.com/page 1, then the hashbang value. Then how it happens is like it first goes to the page 1, then later it will append the page 2. It will call an Ajax function. It will check for the hash value, and based on the hash value, it loads page 2. So actually, we are loading contents for page 1 and page 2 on the same page, so just one link. Say user is coming to visit our site, they have to first they have to see page 1. When they are about to scroll down or they're checking something scrolling down, suddenly the page 2 content will be loaded. So this is one. Another issue is if the JavaScript is disabled by user, the URL is like this, with the hash value and all. If there is no JavaScript enabled, that particular URL won't work. So that's not a solution. Like if the URL is using hash mechanisms. So there is a better solution for HTML5 History API. This History API is there for a long time. It's not like a new thing created by new thing came into being after HTML5. So there are many stuff like this history.go, history.forward. We are not using that frequently, but there are many related stuff which were there for a long time. But this now HTML5 History API has introduced two new methods. One is push state, one is replace state, and one more event is there for on pop state. These three makes History API more popular because it has lots of functionalities now. So there are. I'll first explain each API one by one, then I'll show a demo of how it works. This is push state API. This is here you can see history.pushState, and there are three parameters for that. One is state object, title, and URL. State object contains some data like it can be anything. It can be a view data, or it can be some IDs, or it can be a title, or it can be a complete HTML also. Then there is the title of the page. Then third is the URL. So this URL will be appended to the existing URL. I'll detail explain later, like after with some demo. So this replace state is very much similar to the push state, but what it does is like it just replaces the current state with the new state what we are passing. The API's parameters are still same: state object, title, URL. But here in this case, it's just replacing the existing state with this one. So no new elements. So like it's not adding anything to the history stack. Only the current one is changed to the new values, new parameters. Then on pop state event. This is probably the most important event related to this HTML5 history API. This API is an event just triggered right after some the URL is changed. Say if I click on the back button or forward button, it will change the state. It will trigger the pop state trigger event. So this callback function we use to do the necessary actions based on our requirement. And this I will explain with the Twitter example. Twitter, they also recently implemented this HTML5 history API. So consider a case like a user is visiting the home page. User is visiting the home page of the Twitter, and say the first thing they'll do is like on the visitor page, say there are many links, many Ajax links in Twitter. Twitter is like lots of Ajax links, lots of Ajax actions are happening. So when a user clicks on a particular link, say he's clicking on this i/connect, this link. So in that case, first thing Twitter is doing is like they will replace the existing state with home data, like the latest view data, all the data they currently have right now. So this so that when they come back to the page, they can use this home data. First they will store the home data, then we call the Ajax function or for retrieving the view for i/connect URL. So once the Ajax response is received, push state API is called, and connect data will contain all the data related to the data retrieved by this Ajax call. Just before on click of this, it will call an Ajax call, right? And it will return the data, like this connect data variable will have all the data associated with the Ajax response. It can be similarly anything. It can be ID, title, or the entire view or entire HTML passed by the Ajax function. Then push state is called, and it will then after push state is called, it will generate the view, so that it will display the view. So first we have display state. We have state for both these pages. Now consider from this page I am clicking on the back button. If I click on the back button, this on pop state event is triggered. So on pop state event triggers and it returns an event. We can use the event also, like there is an event parameter, and event parameter have a state. The state we are stored here. So in this page on pop state we'll get e.state variable, and this will be the home data. So the home data, from using the home data we need to recreate our UI. Recreate the UI for the home page. So same thing happened with if you go for some other site, like from twitter.com, and we are going to some other site and come back, still the pop state is triggered. So first if you are visiting like home page, then connect page, then going to some other site, and if you click on back page, the similar stuff will happen, like pop state event is triggered, and the connect data, the second page is there. Here the connect data is triggered because here the second page, this particular state have connect data as e.state value. I'll explain with the demo later, that will be more clear. First, there are some problems with the history API also. Like we seen this title, this push state have a title parameter. This title parameters in most of the browsers now completely ignoring. They are not even taking into account. So like when we have to manually set the title based on our requirement. So like if answer this example, if I'm getting this state value, state object at this state value, and I need to get the title object, and then title I need to set manually, document or title or something like that. This is the browser support, like the all the latest browsers support HTML5 History API. i10, i11, i9 doesn't have this support. So like here most of the web developers are testing. I mean, we need support IE8 and 9 mostly. So in that case, if you want to use History API, we may need to use some third-party plugins like history.js. Here they give a fallback mechanism. Like if HTML5 History API is not supported, it will go back to the previous hashing mechanisms. And even the title issue, like most of the browsers are not supporting. So history.js will take care of that also. So I'll just quickly show you one demo. So this is just a normal site with Ajax. One click of this, the data is flag of the country is retrieved. You can see like okay, this is a normal site. We haven't enabled any history API code yet. So this is just a normal site. Here, as you can notice, there is no proper state. If I get all the URLs are same all the time. Here only Ajax code. Like if you see in the address bar, if you copy paste the code and address and paste in some other page, like it just gives the same page. Like there is no proper state. And even when if a SEO spider or something want to crawl outside, they cannot do that properly because it's only one state. They cannot take any proper snapshot of the state. So in the code, so this is basic code, like this is nothing complex. Just on click event we are calling on the click event we are loading the content. We are calling an Ajax function. Ajax is here. So it will get the data and just basic normal jQuery code. So I enable this push state API. I am calling the push state API now. Now you can see. You can see the title changing and the URL is changing. And we are not reloading the page, only Ajax code is triggered, and we just appending the content like a URL with replacing the URL with the new parameters we passed. You'll see here what the first this is an object. This object we need later when we trigger that pop state event. These objects are used. Like at the moment, I just put like content name and title just for random use. Like based on your document, these values may be different. Can you see properly? Uh, so this is like same that API that push state first part. This part is title with the state object. Next is the text title parameter. At the moment, most of the browsers are ignoring that completely. And the third part is the URL. URL that is appended to the existing one. Okay, so now as you can see here, the URL is appended, the title is changed. Actually, the title is not changed by the history API. We have to manually change it. So here you can see document.title. I'm setting that title manually. So it's better to keep this title part there because like later when the browser starts supporting, it will work automatically. So like it's better to use the title parameters now also. So now this is just an Ajax page with the proper URLs. Now if I just click on back button, nothing will happen. The reason is that I haven't enabled that pop state event. Like I haven't bound the pop state event with the window. So you can see here. Now I enabled this and now if I just again same thing, title change and URL is changed. Now if I click on back button, the data is retrieved. Like Canada now, USA. It is just like we're going back from original page. Like no, it doesn't like if a normal user visits the site, they don't feel like it's an Ajax page. Like it's just like it's completely transparent for the users what happening inside. So there is a misconception like history.api just want to retrieve the UI and so we need to do by manually. We have the state object. From the state object we need to manually create a UI. It's not like we can just say just calling the API or on pop state. It will recreate the entire way how it was before. That is not how it works. Like we need to do everything manually. So here you can see here I'm getting the country and then document title is set again. And then I'm loading the content. I'm passing because I'm using this state country value, and I'm passing it to load content. And from there, I am generating that URL, that view again. So that is important. Like we need to do a coding, but make use of that that state object. The state object can contain like whatever you want to recreate the view. Like say there may be a page with lot of accordion. Like 2 or 3 accordions are like one accordion is visible and the other is hidden. So that we can make some parameters so that when we retrieve the data, we can find out what all are visible or what all should be shown. Say a certain div is hidden, when it can trigger and we can get the data and we can based on that data we can recreate that view. So these are the basic stuff, and here I'm checking e-state on the load because there is. In Chrome WebKit browsers on the page load itself, if I'm loading say like twitter.com for the first time, it triggers this event. So by default it will be null. So like just we are a simple extra content extra check so that make sure that it's not null. If it's not null, then only we'll do the execute itself. So I think that's pretty much clear with the demo, right? Don't have any doubts or anything. So that's it. Like if anybody have any questions. That's the only demo I have right now. If you want to see like I can show it at Twitter, and if you go there, twitter.com also. Here also there are URLs like there is not I/connect that I showed one example with some life cycle I shown. So if I click on this discover link, so you can see like Ajax is called, then URL has been changed, even notification. If I go to another link, similarly again it's Ajax. Like if I can show this, going to notification page. It's all like like when you look at it, it seems like you're properly reloading the page. If the user see that, it's much faster, and it's like we are properly reloading the page. See, there are lots of stuff in HTML5 APIs. They have lots of drag and drop, then lots of stuff are there. But this may be something that we may need to use, like in future, where for the web developers we may need to use for almost all the applications. This is so like even if I go back, so it's just like it's again calling the Ajax, not reloading the page. So pop state event triggers, or if you want to do anything specific on that particular page, you can bind it to pop state event. So any doubts or anything? So that's it. I'm winding up the session. Yeah, these three APIs are there. History API has other like functions are there, other APIs are there, like history, but not related to HTML5. Okay, these make like these things make like say to make a proper session, proper stateful application. So these three things are helpful. You can look, you can check for the history.js also. That has lots of features that will like it will give the fallback mechanism. So like if something is not working, if some browser is not supporting properly, that is very useful. Maybe it's, now is the best idea to use history.js rather than directly go and use this history API. So that's it. Thanks.